but we've superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Doctrine. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine.
After United States captured Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and flew him out of the country in a stunning military operation early on January 3, 2026, that plucked a sitting leader from office, Trump boasted about the operation in a media briefing, where he also brought up the 1823 Monroe Doctrine, formulated by President James Monroe, which was used to justify U.S. military interventions in Latin America.
We are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that... And the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries. And not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines. And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal. But we've superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Doctrine. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Won't happen. Power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. Everyone's coming back to us. The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security. Just like tariffs are, they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security stronger than ever before. Capacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American Armada remains poised in position, and the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just, fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist, Maduro, is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free.
Yeah, I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term. We'd love to see all kinds of changes, but the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States. Elections? Well, look, this is a country that's been governed by this regime now for 14 or 15 years. The elections should have happened a long time ago. The elections did happen. They lost them, and they didn't count the votes, or they refused to count the votes, and everyone knows it. So all of that, I think, is premature at this point. There's a lot of work to be done here. Right now, what we are focused in, let's be realistic here, what we are focused on right now is all of the problems we had with when Maduro was there. We still have those problems in terms of them needing to be addressed. We are going to give people an opportunity to address those challenges and those problems. Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States. We will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned with court orders. We will continue to do that and potentially other things until the things we need to see addressed are addressed. Because ultimately, above everything else, we care about elections, we care about democracy, we care about all of that. But the number one thing we care about is the safety, security, well-being, and prosperity of the United States. Maria Corina Machado is fantastic, and she's someone I've known for a very long time, and that whole movement is. But we are dealing with the immediate reality. The immediate reality is that unfortunately, and sadly, but unfortunately, the vast majority of the opposition is no longer present inside of Venezuela. We have short-term things that have to be addressed right away. We all wish to see a bright future for Venezuela, a transition to democracy. All of these things are great, and we all want to see that. I've worked on that for 15 years on a personal level, both in the Senate and now as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. These are things I still care about, we still care about. But what we're talking about is what happens over the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, and how that ties to the national interest of the United States. And so we expect to see more compliance and cooperation than we were previously receiving. With Nicolás Maduro, you could not make a deal or an arrangement. This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion. This is not an extended military operation. This is a very precise operation that involved a couple of hours of action. It was a very delicate operation, too.
The Monroe Doctrine is a United States-designed foreign policy that contradicts European colonialism in the West. The Monroe Doctrine has time and again been criticized for being used to justify interventions in Latin America.
It's about peace on earth.
How is it peace on earth?
Peace on earth. We got to have peace. It's our hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine was very important when it was done, and other presidents, a lot of them, they lost sight of it. I didn't. I didn't lose sight. But it really is. It's peace on earth. Possible danger. It was a very dangerous operation. It was amazing that we had a few injured, but all are in good shape right now. But I knew there was great danger. You got off a helicopter. The helicopters were being shot at. They got on the ground with amazing talent and tremendous patriotism, bravery. The bravery was incredible. Let's say they got off the helicopter and the bullets were flying all over the place. As you know, one of the helicopters got hit pretty badly. But we got everything back. And don't ask me who's in charge because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial. We're in charge.
While many criticize Trump's action over Venezuela, taking over the oil market of the country, leaders like the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu even congratulated Trump on a successful takeover of Venezuela.
Veľmoci si dnes robia doslova čo chcú. úplne vymazali existenciu medzinárodného práva a nevyhnutnosť jeho dodržiavania. OSN je bohužiaľ na kolenách a Bezpečnostná rada OSN bez reformy a dôsledného posilnenia jej právomocí je úplne bezzubá. V malej krajine, ako je Slovensko, nezmôžeme nič. Len neveriacky pozeráme, ako americké elitné vojenské jednotky unesú prezidenta suverénnej krajiny Venezuely. A ako Spojené štáty oznámia, že budú celú 30 miliónovú Venezuelu riadiť. Vojenský útok na Irak mal tú istú motiváciu. Vtedajší americkí predstavitelia nemali však odvahu otvorene priznať, že išlo o kontrolu nad irackou ropou, ale šírili nezmysly o zbraniach hromadného ničenia či prepojení irackého režimu na teroristické štruktúry, čo sa nikdy nepotvrdilo.
הנשיא טראמפ שאל אותי, תגיד, אתה אוהב זיקוקי דינור? ואמרתי לו, תראה, זה עדיף על דברים אחרים שמתפוצצים בשמיים, אבל גם בזה למדנו לטפל היטב, והוא כמובן הבין את זה. והייתה בכלל הבנה גדולה בביקור והזדהות גדולה. אני חושב שזה תרם להידוק הקשר הכפול גם בין ישראל לארצות הברית, וכמובן הקשר האישי בינינו. אנחנו שוחחנו על כל ההתפתחויות באזור, אני מייחד את דבריי קודם כל לעזה. לגבי ונצואלה, אני רוצה להביע את תמיכת הממשלה כולה בהחלטה הנחושה והפעולה הנחושה של ארצות הברית להחזיר חירות וצדק גם לאזור הזה של העולם. אני חייב להגיד שבכלל באמריקה הלטינית כרגע יש מהפך שאנחנו רואים אותו בכמה וכמה מדינות שחוזרות לציר האמריקני ולא במפתיע גם לקשר עם מדינת ישראל. אנחנו מברכים על כך, אנחנו מברכים את הנשיא טראמפ על החלטתו, גם מצדיעים לכוחות הצבא האמריקנים שביצעו מבצע מושלם. אנחנו יודעים להעריך דבר כזה.
Maduro is a horrible, horrible person, but you don't treat lawlessness with other lawlessness. We have learned through the years when America tries to do regime change and nation building in this way, the American people pay the price in both blood and in dollars.
Now we have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor. And that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long. He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long. We have to do one thing in Venezuela, bring it back. It's a dead country right now. It's a country that, frankly, we would have been, if I had lost the election, we would have been a dead country. We would have been Venezuela on steroids. Venezuela right now is a dead country. We have to bring it back, and we're going to have big investments by the oil companies to bring back the infrastructure. Well, I think we're looking more at getting it fixed, getting it ready first, because it's a mess. The country is a mess. It's been horribly run. The oil is just flowing at a very low level, much lower than, even if it was badly run, it should have more income, more oil than what they're doing. So we're going to have the big oil companies go in, and they're going to fix the infrastructure, and they're going to invest money. We're not going to invest anything. We're going to just take care of the country. We're going to cherish the country. We're going to take care, more importantly, of the people, including Venezuelans that are living in our country that were forced to leave their country. And they're going to be taken very good care of.